Let it flow, 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 Spaces open, might go live. Different miles from Web to Drive. Builders here, they pull up real. Talking moves and how they feel. No scripts, just open flow. Ideas moving row by row. Every week a new face shown. Building things that stand alone. On the block we go, 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 go. On the block, let it flow, 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 flow. On the block, feel the sound. On the block right now. Just raw talk. Ideas that actually walk. From early grinding new way. Every guest got things to say. No script, no safety net. Just truth. You don't forget. We go, 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 go. On the block, let it flow, 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 flow. On the block, feel the sound. On the block right now. Down, 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 down.
GMGAGE to everyone tuning in. It's On the Block, episode 49. Taddy, what's good, brother? How's your weekend been? Before we jump over to Henry, let me see what's good with you, brother. How's things?
Yo, look, I'm well, man. Had a great weekend. Touched grass, smoked grass, touched water, hung out with my girls, made memories, man. Went to a amusement park in Anaheim called Knott's Berry Farm. Just got taken over bought by Six Flags. So our season passes for Six Flags now work there. So we laid it down, man. Had a great time. It's like 90 degrees there, though. So my weekend was goated, brother. Making memories with my girls is always the best. So how about you?
Yes, sir. Hey, similar, man. Similar. Spending time with the fam off Web3 for a little bit. Checked in here and there, Taddy. But you know how it is. Sometimes you just got to kind of switch off and just get a restart. But it was good. It was good as always.
Yo, I got to check in more often, though, man, because I made a promise to my lady that I'd touch grass on the weekend and not check Web3, but I'm missing out on some plays, brother.
There has been some plays, hasn't there?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, like Web3 doesn't sleep, so I got to let her know, like, yo, all right, I'm not going to be on the phone the whole time with the computer, but I got to check in from here and there. So anyway, but All good, man. Just working today and just finished the meeting and happy to be doing OTB since we didn't have it last week. And although our floor watches were fucking goated. So,
Sheesh. Yeah, last week Floor Watch was great, and funny enough, Henry was very kind enough to jump on Floor Watch, so he's got a kind of a taste of how we kind of roll. But yeah, OTB is slightly different. But talking about Henry, Taddy, let's jump in and
yeah, nobody came here to listen to us yappity yap. So let's get the start of the show on, man. Let's go.
before I do, quick shout out to our sponsors. Orbis, you all know what Orbis is about. It is the NFT Solana marketplace. Go and check out orbisonsol.io if you haven't already. And Puffsters, well, if you don't know about Puffsters, get to know a lot of things coming Puffsters way. Another Solana OG project. I'm repping their PFP, and there's a reason behind that because they stay true to their word, Teddy, and it was great having them on the show recently on OTB. But they are our sponsors. Let's get over to Henry, see what's cooking with him.
Let's do it.
Henry, how are we doing, sir? How are we today?
Yo, it's Monday, sunshine. It's a good day, bro. It's a good day. Doing good over here. Happy to hear you guys touched a little grass, spent some time with your family. That's always well-deserved R&R.
Yeah, man, it's the best too, bro. Like my girls keep me grounded, make me realize that all this shit we do in Web3, yeah, it's fun, it's lucrative sometimes, but at the end of the day, what's important is family. So 100%. Thank you for joining us again, man. It was great having you on last week for Floor Watch, and now we get to pick your brain today, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, told you guys after the show last week. Bro, what a blast that was. Like a tour. I felt like I was on a trolley and you guys were just like showing me around the neighborhood. And I told you like we could have gone easily another couple hours, I'm sure. But that was really fun. That was like kind of like a nice little break.
Agreed, man. Feelings mutual, man. You're a great guest host, and feel free to hop up on Floor Watch anytime as well, man. And maybe give us a tour of ETH. It might be a one-stop shop, but hey, it is what it is.
I will, bro. No, I'm no lie. I that's a fun show. Happy to come by and just chop it up. Good times.
Yo, before we get into it, man, I just want to say thank you for your service, bro. My father was retired Navy. My father-in-law is retired Army, and I got a whole bunch of family that have been in the service. So I just want to say thank you for your service, brother.
Oh, thank you, bro. My honestly, like it was my honor. Honestly, it was like I say, time of my life. It was it's like one of the you do it usually in your formative years and teaches you a lot and you learn a lot and like you were talking about being grounded and talking about like there's money to be made in Web3. I think my time in the service just showed me like how good we have it. And really, dude, probably to a point it annoys my immediate family. I'm just like grateful, even on the shitty days, man. Like I think often of how hard a lot of this world has it and how good we have it to like, dude, the stuff we're doing, right? Like JPEGs and magic internet money. And it's like, it's hard if you've not experienced it, it's harder. And I don't even just mean in the military. I mean, traveling and seeing how a lot of the world lives. It's it's humbling. You know what I mean? So yeah, you're welcome, bro. That was the long way of saying you're welcome and thank you.
No, I appreciate the long way. Hell yeah, I appreciate the long way. This is what this show's for, though. It's for the long answer, man, not the short answer. So, it's your show today. You take as much time as you want to say whatever the fuck you want. So,
okay, fair. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yes, Henry. Let's get into it, man. I know Taddy just touched on the service, and from me as well, thank you for your service. It's not just service to your own country, it's service to the wider efforts of good things. But Henry, I want to go back before your service days, right? I want to start off. Talk to me about Henry, King Kong Henry, growing up. Henry, where did you grow up? How was the early life of Henry before you actually got into service?
Yeah, early Henry. Well, I grew up, I got two brothers. Both of them are in this space. And so it's kind of cool that the three of us get to do a lot of this stuff together. And I as a young kid, I was in New Hampshire. But I kind of spent like my growing up years before the service in Florida. So grew up down in Florida, dropped out of high school when I turned 16. My family was poor. Like we were just poor. Like we had a roof over our head, but like we grew up with not a lot of anything. Hand-me-down clothes, donated gifts at Hanukkah. Not the typical like Jewish family. I'm Jewish, by the way. I'm not practicing, but like not the typical like, oh, you came from like a doctor or you came from like a lawyer. It wasn't any of that shit. It was it was one of the reasons like I dropped out and wanted to kind of get on with my life because there wasn't really a lot of opportunity. Just like there wasn't like a business to hand down to me. There wasn't anything, bro. My parents had bought a 2-bedroom house or a condo, and I was sleeping on the porch. I didn't have a bedroom, so I was sleeping on the porch, and I was just figuring out how do I get out of here as quick as possible. And I dropped out. I got my GED. I went to community college for like a semester and a little bit longer than that because I went in the Coast Guard and you needed that in order to get in if you didn't have a high school diploma. So I went in when I was 17. Like 2 weeks after I turned 17, I went to boot camp. And that was sort of like the start of my adult life, bro. It was like next thing you know, you're like doing this thing. And you're supposed to be grown up and you're figuring it out along the way. And there was a lot of figuring out to do.
Did you know what you were getting yourself into? Or was it like, holy shit, what the fuck did I just get myself into?
Yeah, it was a little bit. It was mostly the second one you said. I, kind of growing up in Florida, I was a surfer and I used to always see the Coast Guard like buzzing the beach line. And so like I knew, like I was familiar with what they did, but dude, nobody like unless you grow up as a military brat and you know like your family's in. I don't think anything prepares you for what it is. So yeah, no idea, bro. 17, no idea. Low man on the totem pole, scrubbing toilets, doing like every shit job, being picked on. It's how it is. You know what I mean? Like the military is like a giant. It's like a fraternity to some degree, and you need to earn every bit of respect you get there. So, it was, like I said, 17, you're getting the shittiest jobs possible and you just better shut your mouth, and grind so people notice you. So I did that. I shut my mouth and I did what I was asked. And, I, eventually went into the aviation side of things and like, I loved it, bro. I was a C-130 navigator. I used to, like my boards were strapped into the back of the plane. So whenever we landed somewhere, to me, it was like the cheapest way to travel because it was free. You might be on a 12, 13-hour mission, but we'd land and I'd get my ass to the beach and try to catch some waves in the process.
Yo, some old Apocalypse Now vibes going on here.
There you go, bro.
Go.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's fucking go. I love it.
But I did that. Did just call it 5.5 years. It was a little under 6 years I did, and got out, and I was flipping houses down in Florida. This is like before the bubble, so I was flipping houses, and it was like when I say crazy money, I didn't get rich, but it was like compared to your military salary, it was like wow, this is like crazy. And this was the wild, bro. It was like, picture 21 NFTs in real estate. That's what it was. It was almost like you couldn't lose.
Yeah.
So I did that for a bit. And, one thing led to another. I live in Buffalo now, but I was flipping houses in Florida, moved up to Western New York to like buy commercial real estate. And eventually like found my way into the flooring world. I was doing installations for Lowe's, like for international people. It's like a Home Depot big box store. Was doing had multiple stores, had multiple crews. It was kind of like fake it till you make it, bro. It was like there was a lot of stuff I didn't know, but I learned quick. And I was like, man, if there's opportunity, I'm gonna take it. So I just kind of took every opportunity that was in front of me and tried to do the best I could with it.
Yeah, no doubt. And that obviously that company is still going, right? Henry, the flooring company. That's on the side.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly, bro. I got a wall full of rugs right behind me, and I don't mean NFTs. I mean like carpet remnants,
actual rugs,
actual rugs ready to go out the door to the next paying customer.
Gives a whole new meaning to rugs for sure.
It
But
does.
no, y'all
It
don't know
does.
what
I'm a rugger.
Yeah.
But not that kind of rugger.
No.
That's right. That's right. I'm an OG rugger, bro. I'm OG. Before it was shitty to do it, it was cool to do it.
Oh god. And then, so Henry, so you started the business and that kind of grew, as you said, multiple teams. How did your first kind of interaction come about with Web3 and crypto in general?
Yeah. So it was December 2020. I'm not like a 2009, 2010 Bitcoin dude. I was buying like ETH and Bitcoin in 2020. And I remember over the summer, maybe even the spring of 2020, I was reading about NFTs and in particular punks. And I had no concept of it. Literally, I just like didn't understand it, but I was interested in it. And in December of 2020, my brother Huda, he works over at Crypto Slam. He was also like, he's a degen, bro. And he's always been into like collectibles and bootlegged tapes of like concerts and always like wheeling and dealing on that kind of stuff since we were kids. And somehow we got on the topic of NFTs. And we were both looking into them, and he had been looking into it way harder than me. And we just found our way into the space. And like the first thing that I remember, like really, well, I don't want to say taking part in, but it was Pranksy's punk giveaway. That was Christmas of 2020. And bro, I still had no concept of what this stuff was. Like I didn't understand how somebody could sell a JPEG. Like I just didn't understand it. I'm just like, why the fuck is anybody buying this stuff? And I remember there was an old like marketplace. It wasn't mintable, but it may have been mintable. It was something like that. And I remember thinking like, okay. I remember I took a picture of our Christmas tree, a small Christmas tree, and I put like, my kids are figure skaters. I put like skates at the bottom of it. And I'm like, well, this is stupid. I'm going to take a picture of this and put it up for sale for 1 ETH because people are just buying random shit. That's not what people were doing, right? Like people weren't buying random shit, but I didn't realize that. And it was Pranksy had a project called NFT Boxes that he did with OG Top Shots guy named Carlini. Carlini was also like into crypto kitties and punks. And that was like the first NFT I bought was out of Pranksy's NFT Boxes. And that was my first like real taste of like the collectible side of things. And they had like a lot of OG artists. Like this was stuff featuring like A Lot of Money and Coldy and X Copy and stuff like that. And I still did not understand it. I didn't really start to grasp it until the spring. Like, I'm a slow learner sometimes, but once I grasped it, and bro, when I say grasped it, I don't mean like, oh yeah, I really understood it. I just mean like once I started to kind of understand it a little bit more, I loved it, bro. And it was like, I think the thing that I loved the most about it was I had been out of the service at this point I got out in 2005. And there was something about like, when I say the camaraderie, that closeness of like the people in Discord and, we were I mean, bro, I wasn't in this thing and spending like 20, 30 minutes. I'm in Discord for hours and hours, bro.
Discord warrior.
Yeah. And I'm like, next thing you know, you're like friends with these people and you're having voice chats with them. And there was something about, that connection I was starting to form with these guys, a lot of which I still have connections with today. A lot of which I've met in real life. And I think it was the closest thing I felt to that camaraderie in the service. And so I just got hooked. And when I say I never looked back, I never stopped. I never took a break. I never touched grass. Literally just been grinding on this for, over 5 years now. Just present and still enjoying it.
So is it by any chance some of your former people that you served with are actually in CyberKongs?
I got one buddy that's in Kongs. He's not present in there. He has a Kong, but I got one buddy that I served with that is in. Yep.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Wait, and did you say it was your older? You have two brothers and they're older, younger. Where
Both are older. Yeah, both are older.
So you're the youngest. Got it.
I'm the baby. Yeah.
Yeah, me too, man.
I
My
think
older
I've
brother got me in here as well, so got me into Web3 as well. So
I think I've seen Hooda's streams. Really, really clean streams.
Really clean.
Very clean.
He's
really
one
like
of the
his
most
setup.
underrated, bro. For real.
Yeah.
He's just he's good at what he does.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are good at what they do and they don't get the recognition, but he's been grinding at this stuff for a while. And yeah, he does a pretty clean job at it.
Yeah, very clean. I like his setup. Teddy, definitely we should hook up with him and get him on stream. I think that would be a nice kind of interview, just his journey as well as a content creator.
Let's go.
But Henry,
go.
I appreciate you kind of giving us a brief insight into your kind of intro to Web3. How far down the line was it for you that you decided, look, I want to be a part of a project and kind of run a project? What I'm really asking is how long until your Web3 kind of initial interaction did you get into the whole cyber Kongs kind of thing?
Yeah, it's funny, dude. I've got one of the weirdest stories in Web3 because not the weirdest, but a weird story because I wanted to be a part of something. I think there's a lot of people that want to be a part of something, and especially in 21, right? When shit was just like insane.
Popping off.
I just wanted to be a moderator in CyberCongs. I remember I was like, bro, and I went to, I was a holder in Kongs. I went to an event at NFT NYC in 21. It was in New York City. I met a bunch of the Kongs and I'm like, man, I just gotta be a part of this, man. If I could just like get a mod, when I say job, like it's not a paid job, but if I could just be a moderator, I'd be pretty stoked. And after I left there, Mio is the original founder, artist for Kongs. He had reached out and said, hey, heard you want to be a moderator? And I'm like, yeah, bro. And he made me a mod. A couple months later, they asked if I'd be community manager. And then it was only like a couple months after that, they asked if I'd join the Council of Kongs. And the Council of Kongs is like it's the founding team. It's like the OGs that keep in mind, Kongs didn't launch as like a business. It just launched as this organic project with people contributing. So the Council of Kongs were the guys that were contributing to just like getting this thing off the ground and making it bigger, and making our presence larger. So, when I got asked to be on the council, I was like, oh my God. Like I thought I don't know how to describe it. It was just awesome. I was like, this is incredible. And I thought, it's mysterious, what's behind the veil, what's behind the curtain. And the reality is, bro, like what's behind the curtain is just a bunch of dudes like us. Like the three of us could be the Council of Kongs, literally. Like it's a bunch of fucking retards trying to figure out how to like take a project that like is literally, JPEGs of gorillas, and how to take that further than it was. And that's a hard nut to crack, right? Because what is all of this? Like in the end, like everyone's figuring out what all this is. So it was an honor to be asked to be on there. And the thing is, it was, it set the stage for maybe some of the hardest work I've ever had to do. It's a lot of work, right? And it's a different type of work. It's not hard work like, you're not out there banging flooring in. You're not out there saving lives or busting drugs or helping cats out of trees or anything like that. But it's a different type of work where like, 1 minute you're loved and 4 minutes later they hate you. And that's a different type of job. And it takes some getting used to where you're like, oh, cool. Now I know, like, oh, they're going to really like us for like a few days. And then the hate will come. It's part of it. And you just got to learn to kind of roll with it. But that was, I think from the early days, I wanted to do something, but we had a small group called the Non-Fungible Idiots that we created. It wasn't an NFT. It was just like a group of people in the early days of 21. We had a Discord. And we always talked about doing a NFT, but I'm glad we didn't. I think I realized from the beginning, like making an NFT just to make an NFT was not like my thing. You know what I mean? It wasn't my thing just to like launch something that nobody will remember. At that point, I thought like, nobody will remember this in a year. By today's standards, it's like no one will remember it in a week if you're launching something. So, yeah, bro, it was always like a desire to help, take a project to the next level, but had no idea what that meant at the time.
I mean, it sounds like your journey through in life was the same as your journey through CyberCons, man. Just pulling yourself up by the bootstraps and working your ass off to get to where you got to. So it's kind of like paralleling each other.
Dude, spot on. And there's probably a ton of people that hear that and they're like, yeah, that's what I've had to do, right? Like, it's not a unique story to Henry. It's a story that I think a lot of us have, which is just like you figured shit out, and you maybe occasionally you got some help along the way and you got shown some acts of kindness along the way. I had a guy in my store today and he's a young guy in his early 20s and he needs flooring for his house and he's struggling. And I could just tell this dude is just suffering a bit, bro. He had to like put his flooring on 3 different credit cards, and I gave this dude, like, when I say the deal of a century, I mean the deal of a century. And I just said, bro, just like hang in there, man. Keep grinding. Like, I know you're out there busting your ass. Good things will come. I think a lot of people can just relate to, like, pull yourself up by the bootstraps and you just got to make it happen because there's nobody there to make it happen for you. And the space is no different. You're spot on with that, Taddy. Like, it's a what do they say? It's like art imitating life. That's what this has been. The good and the bad, bro. I mean, you don't do anything without having a little bit of negativity associated with it. But you're right, dude. It's exactly that. And it's, I think, one of the reasons why I believe in it so much, because there's something about Kongs that is just like special. And it's not me. It's just this thing that somehow, and I'm amazed by it, like somehow without the KOLs, without the VC backing, without any of that shit, for 5 years and 3 or 4 months, that place has had a heartbeat and has literally been on any and everything that comes through this space. And I think there's a part of me that's still like wowed by that I'm just like, bro, again, it's not me, it's the community. I'm like, this is crazy, dude. You could put us up against so many projects and the things that they've accomplished and be like, well, you didn't do that and you didn't do that. And I'm like, yeah, I know we didn't do any of that shit that you're talking about, but come in our Discord. Come in there, see what's happening, see that these people still show up no matter what, see that the collab team's still out there finding wins, see that our alpha callers are still out there finding wins. And I think that's a super motivating thing for me, is just seeing community stepping up and being present and being a part of it, good or bad.
I can attest to that, man, because your Discord feels like you guys just minted. You know how Discord feels when the mint is coming and the mint is going on?
It's popping.
It's fucking lit, bro, all the time.
Anybody who comes in is always just like, wow, you got, and it goes through periods of the day where like maybe it's a little slower, but you go into Discords these days and it's a ghost town. You go into Kongs and there is always somebody 24 hours a day. There's always somebody there to talk to. You don't look at the chat and go like, last message 34 minutes ago, last message 3 days ago. You're like, oh, maybe at most last message 11 minutes ago in the middle of the night. Maybe. But it's a pretty special place and I love being a part of it, man. There's just something that there's like something that just draws me to it. And I don't know if I can put my finger on it, but there's something about it that makes me feel like we're 10 foot tall and bulletproof.
Well, you mentioned that you wanted to see behind the veil of, how a project is run and whatnot. And then you finally saw it. You're like, oh, it's just a bunch of dudes in here making the shit run. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what we've learned too, as well, just having founder after founder on there. It's just a bunch of hardworking dudes that just want to grind, man, and love working hard and love challenges and whatnot. So it's kind of a good thing to see behind the curtain and realize that it's just a bunch of dudes, but it's also like humbling too. You're like, oh, fuck, man. Like, just a bunch of dudes have been making this project run so far. I want to be a part of that. So
yeah,
I feel you on that.
Yeah, and like everybody with their own unique skill set. Like, I'm sorry, like devs are devs, right? You put a bunch of devs in a room, they are not what's going to take a project to the next level, because like devs are usually a little more introverted, and Kongs like made their stamp on the space with cool, like innovative shit at the beginning. But that's not what carries you in 2023 or 2024, 25 or 26. The space changed. And so like you need new ideas. You need you need fresh thinking. You need a lot to make these things work. So yeah, I think there was a part of me that thought at first, like, I am about to go into the dev basement with the most cracked people on earth. And I'm just going to start levitating, bro. And the reality is, like, it's anything but that. In fact, like, if memory serves me right, it was 9 months before I got subpoenaed by the SEC. So it was sort of like, all right, like, we got to grind. It's 2022. We need to grind. The space is changing. And then boom, we get hit with that. So it was a really kind of funny experience looking back at what I thought things would be versus like what they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to come on to how that came about, but I was just going to reiterate what Taddy said, right, in terms of the community side. I think it was over the weekend, or maybe it was on a Friday, and I just jumped into Kongs. I thought, getting Henry on the show, I better kind of pull my socks up and do some research. Let me jump into the DC. I was already a member of the DC anyway, so I jumped in, and there's people hanging out in the VC. I thought, okay, what are these two chads doing? I jumped in there. I can't remember. I think it was someone called Inverted, right? He had built some game on Google Gemini, and he was just showing it. And I was like, Taddy, this like bunch of chads just sitting there, vibe coding shit, and like, this is brilliant. And he's just talking about the game. And there's another person, I forgot the name of that person, but he was testing it, and it was just chilled, so welcoming. And I was like, I hope you guys don't mind me just kind of hanging out in it. I was like, no, we're just checking out a game I vibe coded and stuff like that. I was like, oh, this is brilliant.
Bro, I'm so glad you got to kind of experience that. That it was probably Austin, I'm guessing. And
Austin, that's it.
Yeah,
yes,
and Vernon may have been in there too, though. And yeah, dude, this is Austin, this is what Kongs are always about. Usually every evening during like weekdays, usually we get a voice chat going. There can be anywhere from like 5 to 30 of us for a couple hours a night. And dude, the coolest thing is it's like they're buddies. I haven't met every single one of them, but like everybody knows that usually around 5:30 Eastern, we pile into voice chat. Yeah. We may be talking Web3, we may be talking aliens, we may be talking like politics, like anything. Some dude wants to just unload about his day. It's a cool place to be.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and it's not just the team members who are firing up VCs, it's just holders. They're able to do that, right? They can just come and fire up a VC and share the screen and just hang out. We've seen, right, in a lot of projects where the holders need initiative. They always look to the founder to start up a VC to get things going. But Kongs, it seems like different. It's holders are taking the initiative and being interactive and just hanging out, as you said, as friends, which is very refreshing to see. You don't often see that in a Solana NFT project. There are projects that do it, don't get me wrong, but it's not as common as you might think.
There's like right now there are 3 people in voice chat in Discord. People have probably come and gone in that voice chat, and that's been going on for a little over 2.5 hours now. So like, and one of them is streaming, and I'm not sure what he's streaming, but like, yeah, dude, that is the life of Kongs.
Henry, you said that you got elected to the Council of Kongs. Is that still active? And if so, how many members are in there, and how does one get elected to that?
Yeah, it's not. So like, it exists, but it is, when I say it's informal, like, as we kind of nobody gets elected. The council is chosen by the council, and I was the last person to come onto the council. And I think what we realized, there used to be, I think at most the council had 9 on there. But as Web3 changes, and as we've like started to figure out what all of this is, it's now like the council exists. Some guys on an advisory side of things. But the reality is, like, I don't even want to say we went to like a Web 2 sort of thing. There was a bit, like not quite a year ago, but almost a year ago, I was made like the CEO. I was kind of already the CEO, even though like we don't really title ourselves behind the scenes. But when we're doing partnerships with like Adidas or, Nano Blocks or any of these places, it's weird to be like, oh yeah, hi, this is Henry from the Council of Kongs. They're like,
right. They're like, from the what?
Yeah.
Hang up, crank collar.
Yeah, what the fuck is the Council of Kongs? So we started to kind of give ourselves official titles. I took mine off my bio on X because like I just don't like it. It feels like way too corporate for me. And I really know that like, okay, I'm the front facing dude. I do the spaces, I do the podcast. I'm super active in the community, but like CEO just doesn't, when I say it doesn't fit me, it just like in the end, decisions are made as a team. The things that we do, like there's never, I don't have a fucking gavel where when we talk about something, I make the ruling on the final decision. Like what we do as a team. And we decide as a team. So like right now there's 5 of us. And 3 of us are from the Council of Kongs. And then Adzi, who's like head of partnerships and collabs, and then Felix, who's a dev there. But bro, like they may not have ever been on the Council of Kongs. They're no different than I am within our team ecosystem. We all bring like a little bit of flavor to what we're doing, and we need all of us. So we used to have a lot more guys on the team. And when we had that, like having a little bit more of this hierarchy mattered. But at this point, I think we've kind of gone back to our roots of just being like a little quicker, a little more degen, way less fucking corporate, dude. I'm going to be honest with you. When we were trying to do that thing that we thought we had to do, be a little bit more corporate, have these titles, take meetings with VCs. Bro, I hated it. I hated it. It was like, no, dude, I'm not doing this to wear I own a business IRL, right? I'm not doing this to have this like corporate vibe where we're like, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for the degeneracy.
Kind of like put a pin to the balloon and let some of the air out of, it's like, fuck, man, I wanted to do this for fun. And now I'm coming in here and now I got to stick up my ass and I'm CEO.
Yeah, like the CEO of what, bro? The Gorilla JPEG project? It's sort of like, it's humiliating isn't the right word. It just doesn't fit for me. So I'm like, I don't need a title. I don't need any of that shit. I have a job to do. And that job is to run Kongs, to keep trying to steer the ship in the direction that we want to go. But I don't need a CEO title to feel like I'm somebody in the ecosystem.
No doubt. And so Henry, after kind of you settled into your kind of role in Kongs, who would you say outside of the project, because I know you mentioned about the team, you had a large team and you've now kind of streamlined it now, who would you say outside of the Kongs has been kind of supportive for you in the Web3 space?
Yeah, so like, there are guys like Maha from Frankie. I don't know if you guys know Frankie's. They were on Abstract, they're on ETH. Maha from Frankie's has been a great supporter. Dude Lifts from Doodles, Poppy from Quirkies. We've had a friendship that we've developed. There's a ton. Jed over at the Regions has been, highlighting us on his spaces. There, I don't want to not mention somebody who's played like a massive, role, like maybe in their end, they're like, man, I've been talking about Kongs and like super high gas fees from LT3s, a bunch of ETH communities that know who we are. Like most of them have been pretty supportive of us. But like, we're kind of a funny little project because we have done so much, but I guess maybe I'll always feel like we don't get the credit
shine,
we deserve.
Shine.
And I don't say it like in a, maybe some of it is like in a jealous way. Sometimes I'm just like, man, it's so weird how some shit just takes off and gets the mind share and how some stuff doesn't. I saw a comment from a guy on X this weekend that was talking about how like he still has a bad taste in his mouth from what he called Prometheus. But he meant, I knew what he meant. He meant Prometheans, which was the Ordinals collection we did. And bro, we got dragged for that. We got dragged. We got death threats. We got cancer wished on our families. And the funny thing is, I'm like, bro, we spent 14 Bitcoin to do that. We didn't make a penny off of it. Whoa. We airdropped 21,000 ordinals for free. We etched the rune and that got airdropped for free. And we tried to do something with it and it just didn't work out. And by the way, runes didn't work out. But like how that puts a bad taste in your mouth, I don't know. I don't know. So sometimes I'm like, people just, I feel like they pick little. People don't ever want to be accountable for their own actions. And I'm not saying that guy's not accountable for his own actions. It's just like when somebody makes a trade and it doesn't work out, the first place they put blame is on the team. That's the first place they go. And I to any team, I think that's unfair because like there's only so much you can do. But you know, in the end, when people lose money, they got to find a scapegoat. You know, and that's usually the team. So yeah, there's been a lot of supporters, and at the same time, there's not a lot of supporters. Although, like, dude, we just had OpenSea just bought a Genesis Kong for their foundation. Adam Weitzman, I know he's not really playing on Solana right now, but he just bought a legendary Genesis Kong maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago. So, like, you know, it's getting some looks from people. But yeah, certainly not in the same way that other projects do, but that's okay. We know it's still a grind to get our name out there and get people recognizing us.
I mean, do you think that's because you guys haven't aligned with KOLs? It seems like all those top projects have aligned with KOLs, so they're getting the shine that they are getting because of the traction that they're getting from these KOLs.
Absolutely, bro. This space, you know, when Cyber Kongs went to 200 ETH and Banana went to $123, that was just this organic thing. There was no KOLs. We haven't had KOLs. And yeah, bro, when we were doing the dumpster NFTs, I you know how many people reached out and were like, I can bring in XYZ, or I can get you this, or I can get you that. Of course, bro. We just, and dude, it's funny because there's like a small part of me that always will wonder, well, should we? We've hired Web3 marketing agencies before. We literally have done it more than once and paid $15,000, $20,000 a month for effectively AI slop. And
for some shit you could have done yourself.
Literally, bro.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you do it sometimes because you're like, all right, maybe we are like not great in that area, so maybe they got something to add to it. And I think what we found is like, no, bro, these guys, like, we know shit. These guys don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And the reality is, yeah, I think because we don't pay KOLs, that obviously changes a little bit of I'm not saying everything that works is from paying KOLs, but it is it's certainly a part of it. And I think what I've seen lately is like none of it lasts. Like you pay somebody and maybe you get a little pump, and then like it's gone in 4 hours or it's gone in 3 days. It usually is not the thing that takes you to the next level.
No doubt. Henry, I want to quickly kind of just take it back slightly, right? In terms of, for people that don't know much about CyberKongs in terms of the kind of collections you have, because there's more than you've got the Genesis Kongs and then you've got other stuff as well. Do you want to give us a quick breakdown on the different collections of Kongs that are available and what's unique about each one of them?
Yeah. So we started with the Genesis Kongs. That's that PFP you're showing right there. Those minted in March of 2021. They were 0.01 ETH. That's what started everything for us. In April, we migrated to a new contract, April of 21, and that contract allowed the Genesis Kongs to yield our utility token, which at the time was called Banana. Now it's called Kong. And you could use that Banana and your gens to breed the next collection, which was the Baby Kongs. So there's 4,000 Baby Kongs. It's going to get confusing here, but like it's the only way we can do it.
Yeah, can you keep telling us the collection size? What was the collection size of the Genesis Kongs for people that are listening in?
1,000 Genesis Kongs.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so then the Genesis Kongs bred the 4,000 Baby Kongs, which started in April of 21, and it ended, the last baby was bred, I think, in December of 21. So 4,000 of those. Where it gets confusing present day is that Baby Kongs migrated to a new contract, or you can migrate them to a new contract as of about a year ago, maybe 10 months ago, and they are called CyberKongs Evolution. So, in fact, bro, go. You're on the site right now. Go up to the top, and then the little
CyberKongs EVO, right?
Yeah, go to more, and then collection.
Perfect.
There we go. There we go.
Babies and Evos are essentially the same.
Got it.
This might not have the Evos on there, or maybe it's on another site, but just bear with me here while we go through it.
Okay.
Baby Kongs, the incubator, you would breed a baby, you get an incubator. There's still incubators out there. And then you can choose when you want to reveal an incubator. So the baby Kongs eventually migrated to become evolution Kongs, but they are, in fact, the same thing. The evolution Kongs just have traits, like new traits that you can get with them, but you always keep the original art and you can choose which one you want to display.
Let's have a look. Let's bring these up. If OpenSea loads, let's have a look.
Okay, these are babies. The reason that we migrated these is because they are on the same contract as the Genesis Kongs. So these are baby Kongs. If you search for Cyber Kongs evolutions,
Cyber Kongs.
there it is.
Lucky has dial-up, so you're gonna have to bear with us, bro.
No, he's doing good, bro. He's doing good. Okay, these are baby Kongs migrated to the new contract, and then you can roll new traits. So you get a new Kong. So these are the Evos. We just call them Evos for short. There's some new traits in them, but you can choose whether you want to display the OG art or the new art. And you can use our token Kong to roll new traits up to 8 times. And it's an incremental thing. It costs more the more that you roll. And there's still some legendaries, dude. There's still like 7 legendary Evos that have not been revealed. But yeah, these are the Evos. They're fun. And going back to like, okay, the difference, like Genesis Kongs are the top of the food chain when it just comes to provenance, right? They also get a larger seasonal allocation of our token Kong. But like the thing is, Kong is not the reason to buy a Genesis Kong. Like you buy a Genesis Kong because you want a Genesis Kong. It gives you access to Wall Street Kongs. So does an Evolution. Okay, an Evolution Kong gets you access to Wall Street Kongs. But like you get a Gen Kong when you want a Gen Kong. When it's like, I always look at it like it's a reflection of your time in Kongs, or you just got money where you're just like, yeah, I can spend 1.6 or 1.7 ETH and buy one. But they get a larger allocation of Kong. But in the end, I'm like, the allure to it is just the history of them. They are what started it all for us. An Evolution Kong is a lower price point. It gives you access into the ecosystem. Both Genesis and Evolution Kongs, if you are staking Kong, give you access to whitelists that we raffle. But again,
like Genesis is like a flex. You're like, yeah, okay, I started late, but I want to buy the original and then work my way down.
Yep, you're spot on, Taddy. That's exactly right. And then if you go back to the collection page, I mean, happy to stay on here, but if you go back and scroll down, the VX Kongs, those we minted in August of 21. These are fucking cool, man. It's one of my favorite collections we have. There's 15,000 of them. They're fully rigged. So if you own one, you can get the FBX or VRM files for them. You can use them in Unity, Unreal Engine. There's tons of them. They're fun. They're avatars. We made these for like the metaverse. We made this for interoperability within Web3 games. A lot of those games are obviously gone now, but there was a time where this was the most interoperable asset in Web3. We need to get them into the other side. I mean,
you do.
It's been like tough to get them in because like the rig, I don't know if it's there's something with the rig that has to change, I think, in order to go into the other side. And it's always like when someone's like, yeah, I can get it in. It just, I don't know. It's just nobody's got it in yet. So one day these will be in the other side. At least the default avatar will be, and one day it'd be awesome to have all of them. But this is one of my favorite collections is the VXs. All of the Genesis Kongs have a matching 1 of 1. So every Gen Kong has a 1 of 1 3D avatar. And so like guys who collect, guys who like love their Gen Kongs, they got their 1 of 1 for free if they minted. Otherwise, if you're buying a Gen Kong now, some guys have to hunt to find their matching one. But yeah, these are a fun collection, minted in August of 21. And then if you go back to the collection page, our last Genkai, we did a partnership with Ronin, home of like Axie Infinity, and we launched Genkai. These were sort of like our IP play. We're like, okay, Mio is a big fan of manga, so we wanted like an anime Kong. These bridge between Ronin and ETH. Ronin is Ronin, so like a lot of guys are bridging them back to ETH. These also have fully rigged VRM files. You can VTube with them. Like they're pretty awesome. If you own one, you just connect it to the site and you can get your files for it. But there's 20,000 of these. We did our partnership with Adidas, like that one white one that you just scrolled by that has the vest on it. Down, you gotta go down. Stop. The one that's got the white one with the black vest and the black hoodie and the pink shades.
Yeah,
that one there. So those were some of the traits we did with Adidas. Yay, OpenSea. Where guys could buy traits. You can, put the trait on your Genkai. You can take it off. And this was just us trying to like experiment and find that lane. And we did a manga.
Henry, quick question. Is it the same artist for all these? Or
same artist for all these.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. Mio's done all the art. So like, the thing is, this was at the time where like it felt like, and probably towards the end of the time, where it felt like you had to have some large collections and a price point for people to get into. But bro, we minted this right after Elementals, and like a couple months after, and after Elementals minted, the space was fucked because you had to spend 2 ETH on an Elemental, and because they looked like copy pasta art of the original Azuki, everyone at that point wanted to know, like, what's the utility? What's the utility? What do I get for it? And it was like, oh my gosh, bro, we have a collection that's not supposed to really have much of any utility. And now after Elementals, what's the utility? So, this is Mio's favorite collection. And the thing is, it's probably the one where I'm just like, man, it's a big collection. It was partially on Ronin, partially on ETH, and it just didn't get the kind of traction that we had hoped for. But, it was like all things, it was a bit of an experiment. So those are our 4 main collections. That one launched in the fall of 23 or the late summer of 23. The Genkais did.
Yeah, July. We've got July 2023.
There we go. Yeah, July 23, and those are our main collections. I mean, I think the ones that there's certainly people who collect a lot of the VXs, and there's guys with deep bags of Genkai. I think the collections that most people think about when they think of Kongs is the Genesis and the babies / evolutions.
Yeah, no doubt. And then obviously dumpster now, because I see so many people kind of rocking these Kongs, even though they don't own the Kong. I've seen a few people PFP them just because they hold a dumpster bag, which I find quite funny. But that's another story. Henry, let's go into kind of the troubles you've kind of faced. Obviously, you've touched on it previously with a certain organization coming after the Kongs. Do you want to give us a kind of brief overview of what happened and how that happened, and obviously how impact that had on your community, but not just your community, yourself as well?
Yeah. So January of 2023, we got subpoenaed by the SEC, and that started 27 months of like the fight, sort of the fight for our lives, our existence in Web3.
Wait, so Henry, just how do they subpoena you? Like, where do they send it to where you're like, oh, we got to pay attention to this? Like, how the fuck did you even find out about it? Like,
your house. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Special delivery. Yeah, special delivery.
Got it.
Opened up the packet, and there was this, bro, it was Friday at like 1:30 in the afternoon, and I was going to like pick my daughter up, or I had to go do something, And I opened it up. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Like, pull this thing out, and like you've got the seal of the SEC, and it's a fucking subpoena. And I was just like, oh shit, bro. Even thinking about it right now gives me a little PTSD. It was like, it was fucking real, bro. I mean, it's
gut punch.
Yeah.
You can't forget something like that. If something like that major happens to you, you remember exactly what were you doing that day, what you was wearing. It's one of those memorable moments.
It was like, oh shit. And you don't even know what it means. And you're reading through this thing, and you're reading through the list of everything they want from you. And it's super ominous, bro. Like, super, like, we need all of this, all of your transactions, all of your wallets, all of your messages, all of this. And then there's like, pages of how you have to like officially submit this. It's not like, oh, here's my messages. It all has to be coded a certain way and uploaded a certain way. And like, it's meant to scare the fuck out of you. That's its intent, is scare you.
Were you shitting bricks?
Yeah. I mean, there was like a part of me that I'm like, we didn't do anything wrong. So there was a part of me that was like, well, it's cool, we didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
But then there's the part of you that's like, oh shit, it just got subpoenaed by the SEC. And it's Friday, it's 1:15, 1:30, and I'm like, I gotta talk to somebody. I gotta try to find an attorney. I'm in Buffalo. I'm calling attorneys, explaining about NFTs. They don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And I got lucky that I got a guy in Manhattan who's like, hey, this guy was like the crypto legal guy, crypto attorney. And then he had to get his friend that he works with on securities. He needed to get him in. And this guy is fantastic, but scary as fuck dude who used to work for FINRA. He was a regulator that came on to the side of being a defense attorney. And it was like Friday at 4:30, 5 o'clock. I had scanned in the subpoena. I sent it over, and his words were like, okay, first off, dude, he doesn't know me from a hole in the wall, right? This dude, first conversation with me, has no idea about these gorillas, has no idea if you're a good guy, if you're a bad guy. He's just like, I just want to tell you, this is serious. So this is serious. This is not going to be a sprint. This is a marathon. And you need to preserve all of your documents. There's no deleting anything. There's none of that. He's like, I'm telling you, there is no, you cannot do that, even if you think that you want to do that. And I was just like, not that I was thinking of deleting anything, but just hearing this guy's voice, you're just like, of course, man. Like, of course. And he's like, let's set up a call on Monday, and we'll need a retainer, and we need to send you the contract. And we, there's all this stuff. And next thing you know, you are just in this thing, bro. You are in this, bro, you're on the ride, and there is nobody that's letting you off of it. And so this started, 27 months of, at the beginning, it's just, you got to be able to explain to them who the hell you even are and what the hell you're even doing. It's one thing to be a crypto attorney or a securities attorney. It's another to represent an NFT project. This was brand new shit. There is nobody with experience with this stuff, because how many NFT projects have gone to court or been in some sort of legal fight with the SEC? A handful. But like those handfuls are being represented by attorneys who have no experience, because all of this is new. So you're having to go through and explain every little bit about everything. And it was just like awful. Not explaining things. That's not awful. It was awful when you started to realize that no matter what they accused you of, like I'll give you, for instance, one of the wallets that they wanted to know where the money went. So to give you context of what these idiots were thinking, one of the wallets that they wanted to understand where the funds went was the wrapped ETH contract, which like at the time, bro, I think the wrapped ETH contract had like $350 million worth of ETH in it. And so you're like, oh my God, bro, these people understand this so little that they're asking us where these funds are, who controls them. They think they got Dude, it's literally like these attorneys wanted the next FTX, and they thought we at least got a mini one here, right? There's 300 mil here. Like, we're going to get a nice shiny promotion. And you're like, you realize like these people don't understand what any of this is. So every time they would present something like, where's this or what is this? And you make the explanation of what this is. Like, I'll give you when I was in
sounds like a witch hunt, bro.
It is a witch hunt, bro.
Yeah.
It is a witch hunt because if their job was to actually just, let's say investigate and make sure there was no wrongdoing, at the point that they see there was no wrongdoing, like move on to the wrongdoings, move on to the people who are doing. There's plenty of that out there.
Right.
When they would come with scenario A and you're like, that's not true. So then they're like, okay, well, we're going to go to B and then C and then E. And by the time you get to H, you're like, oh, dude, no matter what we do, these people are coming to cut our balls off. No matter what we do. I was in, I had to testify twice. And I think it was the first time that I testified. They try to catch you in lies. Like, these people want you to be want you to be a motherfucker. They are hoping that you are the biggest piece of shit they ever had in that chair. And I remember they questioned me and they said, have you ever talked about CyberKongz being a security with like your community? Like, have you ever have you ever told people in your community that this is not a security? And I'm like, not to my knowledge. It wouldn't be a topic that I remember ever coming up, and certainly not something that I recall ever, putting out there publicly. And they're like, well, then can you explain this? And it was like a screenshot of me saying in Discord that one of our guys, a holder, was on, who was the guy that used to run the Daily Show? Was it Ryan Carson? Was that? Yeah. One of our guys was on his show. He used to be one of the biggest, like spaces in Web3. And he was talking about wallet security. And I was just letting Kongs know, like, Eddie is on there talking about security. And the SEC interpreted that, like, and I'm like, what? Like, so this is sort of like the fuckery that they do. And, in the end, what they ended up coming after us for was that we got royalties from secondary sales. That was the hill that they were going to die on. And they were basically like, hey, you can settle at the first. They wanted 4.7 or 4.8 or 4.9 million dollars, which they eventually came down to like $175,000. But the thing is, they wanted us to get rid of our utility token, burn all of the Kongs in the treasury, never violate Section 5 of the Securities Act again, which is the unregistered sales of securities. Never violate that again, which we hadn't even violated. And and post this on our website. Essentially, they're like, yes, if you settle with us and kill your ecosystem, we will go away.
Oh, go fuck yourself. Come on, man. Seriously, bro. Did you ever find out who sicked the dogs on you? Like, was it a hater? Like, what the
no, we don't know, but the assumption is, there were Yahoo Finance articles written about us that, when Banana was in its heyday, that you could make $200,000 a year passive income. Dude, nothing. Like, that's the thing. They couldn't find a single thing from the team of saying any of this stuff, but like, they thought that they had a giant fish on the hook. And, and so I think they were all just looking to try to take crypto down under the Biden administration. And we basically told them, go fuck yourself. And we're not settling with you. We're not killing our ecosystem. We had already spent over $1 million in legal fees. And we were like, all right, fucking game on. Because like, if we, and keep this in mind, Kongs had no marketing at the beginning. We're probably one of the only projects that actually could have beat them by the letter of the law. There was no marketing. Nobody bought Kongs because of a token. There was no Discord. There was none of that. It was just as organic as it comes, and it's what saved our ass. But like, we're like, if we don't fight this, first off, we're dead, and the space is dead. Like, it's just that simple. Everybody, like anybody who had royalties got royalties. And if that's a violation of the Securities Act, that's a massive problem for the space. So we said we're taking that fight. And we did. We took on that fight, and we were fortunate that they closed our case. 5 months or so after we went public with it, or maybe 3 months after we went public with it, they closed the case.
How did that affect your holders in your community? Did everyone, was it like solidarity, like fuck these guys, or did some people dip, or like what was the
I
overall
think the
vibe?
people that were in Kongs were like, yo, dude, they had no idea this was going on. They may have wondered, like, why are we, why do our tweets suck? Why are we not pumpy about anything? Why, you know what I mean? And it was always because we're like, oh, dude, we could be a month away from this thing being over. We could be 3 weeks away from this thing being over. And so, like, legal counsels, like you're following instruction from legal counsel. And one of those instructions was like, this is not public. There's no reason to make this public. This could all be going away. And so that's what we did until we made it public. And when we did, our holders were super supportive of us. I think people who like left in those 2 years probably left because they're like, dude, this doesn't feel like the same place that I was in 21 or 22. Because like,
it wasn't.
Because it wasn't, and not even just because of the space, because of us. And like, when you're going through this kind of stuff, there's just no way you can be performing at the level you want to be performing. You just can't. Yeah. I mean, everything that we did, Prometheans, Rune number 2, Genkai, everything we did with like 2 hands tied behind our back. Literally. I mean, go imagine trying to launch a project right now with the SEC up your ass, right? And how you would act in public when that's happening. Like it takes away everything you would want to use in your toolbox to try to like get some attention or try to get some hype or try to get people into it. You can't do any of that. You got the feds on you,
Meanwhile, Luna, FTX, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then they're going after you guys. Crazy,
we're a project, dude. We've donated close to $1.5 million to Virunga National Park. I think I told you guys that on the stream the other day. Like, we are one of the most ethical, generous projects that's ever hit a chain. Literally, like, there's others, I'm sure, but like, if we aren't in that category, the list isn't accurate. If we're not on that list is bullshit. Kongs have been one of the most giving communities in Web3 since our inception. So it was weird that like they would target a project that was like, when I say wholesome, we're degenerate, but like we don't partake in the fuckery.
Right.
But
Yeah, no, I was going to ask, how was it after that, Henry? After all of that, obviously, it's a massive kind of achievement overcoming all of that. How was, obviously, your holders, they found out and everything, and they were supportive, but how was it after that? Did you see fresh new kind of approach being made by the team on how to move the project forward, or what was the direction after what happened?
I think in some ways, like, we all told ourselves, like, if the SEC investigation would ever end, we were all going to go somewhere together. You know what I mean? Like, we went through some shit together, right, as a team. And it was like, when this thing ends, it was like that thing we were looking forward to. We would joke about, like, we're all going to meet up in Bali or somewhere, and we're just going to, like, fucking decompress and just, like, wow, it's over. And the reality was, once it was over, we're like, we got to get to work. And part of the problem is, like, the space just changed so much, like, and we saw it change. But like, when you're actually trying to do something, you realize like what you're doing isn't super sexy to the outside. So like, for instance, we're like, all right, we need to change Banana. The emission schedule for it just doesn't really work right now. Like it's not present day crypto to have 1,000 assets and yielding 10 a day. And the chart was terrible, bro. I mean, Banana was down to probably 70 cents or 30 cents. And it was just like, this isn't healthy. So this doesn't work. Let's change it. So part of what we were doing was trying to right the ship, by changing the emissions, by getting babies off of the original contract, and just like trying to get back on track so we could try to get back on track. And, we were working on a trading bot. It's called TrenchBot, and we had released that or we were working on it, and we ended up releasing that like in the fall of 25, I think it was, maybe end of summer of 25, and actually it might have been beginning of 25. Nonetheless, we were building stuff, but like the reality was what we did in these changes for Kong, like part of me feels like if we could go back and do it over again, like we wouldn't have done it the same way. Because like coming out of the SEC thing, nobody fucking cared. Nobody cared, bro. Nobody was like, we didn't have Pudgies and Azuki and Apes and Doodles and the fucking leaders in this space. Like, dude, Kongs, let's fucking go. You guys are awesome. We didn't have any of that. It was just sort of like, cool. It's over. Everybody's already moved on. Nobody cares. And so then we did this like intra ecosystem update, and like, yeah, people in the community, they like it. They like rolling their traits. They like that stuff. But like, those things don't work. Those things don't make floor prices go up. Those things don't do that stuff anymore. And so we went through and tried to like, just, we redid our logo and all of this shit. To anybody listening would be like, yeah, you fucking retard. Nobody cares about you changing your logo. Nobody cares about you changing, your brand identity or your website, or nobody cares about that. And I get it. It was still stuff that had been neglected for a while. So we just kind of felt like we needed to do it. And so we did. And so like 25 was filled with a lot of those kind of updates, and none of them slapped. And I think after that, I just realized like we had gone down the IP route, and we'd gone down the merchandising route, and we had done that shit. And dude, our community couldn't care less. And that's not a cut on the community. It's just like it's not the thing for them. Cool, I don't need the hoodie, or I got a hoodie. I don't need 4 of them, and like, I don't want to spend $140 on one. And so I think I just realized like, dude, the pressure of like trying to be the next Pudgy Penguin when we're not the next Pudgy Penguin, or trying to build, we were working on our game, Play and Collect. We made an on-chain game that had been around for some years, and we were working on the mobile version of that. And I remember we had 4 or 5 game devs working on this, and I'd be in calls with them, and we'd be getting updates on the art. And I remember when I pulled the plug on it. I remember when I let those guys know that they no longer had a job with Kongs. I liked them, but it was like the realization, like, we are going to spend another 6 months on this thing and no one's going to care. Like 100 people will care. You can't build this for 100 people. So
when did you kind of realize that? What was the exact moment you realized, look, this is not what my community wants. This is not the way to go for CyberKongs. What was the actual moment? What made you think, stop?
Dude, I don't think there was like, there wasn't like this exact, like driving down the road and like poof. I think it was just having conversations with like, the guys on the team and like, I'm a DJ, so like I'm in the community. I'm in one of the busiest Discords in Web3. I am the number 1 ranked person in that Discord for how much chatting I've done. Okay. So like I'm around, I see it, right, and I talk to people, and I'm just like, this ain't it. This ain't like, okay.
Also a gut feeling too, right?
It's like a bunch of that, yeah. And by the way, like, I don't like when I don't think that is our lane. I know it's not our lane, I should say. I don't think it's the lane that's going to be successful for many people at all. I think I think so much of it is smoke, mirrors, and bullshit. And one day, if I always say like, bro, I am right until I'm wrong. So one day, if I'm wrong, for that many years down the road, I will have been able to say I was right. And one day they may be like, yeah, you were wrong. I'm like, my thesis is that most of that shit doesn't matter. And maybe one day it will, but that most people are here to participate in the money side of things. They like their friends. They like the camaraderie. They like art. But in the end, what they like is to find the next opportunity. And at least that's what Kongs are. And that's what a lot of people who are like Kongs are. They're like, yeah, no, I like the art. And I like Tatty and Lucky. And if they were in town, we'd go grab some wings. Like, of course. But like in the end, like, give me the contract address, bro. To what's it? Can I get a fucking guaranteed whitelist, please?
Shit,
like,
man.
that's why so many people are here. And I just started to realize, like, bro, I can go out there and talk all the fucking nonsense in the world about community this and IP. And I'm like, but in the end, that's not who the Kongs are. The Kongs are, give me the CA. How do we get whitelists for this? And
let's fucking cook.
and let's cook. And I'm like, and that's why Kongs have cooked on every single meta that's ever happened in Web3 since early 21, because like that's who they are. So I'm like, why are we building a bunch of shit that these guys aren't going to care about? Let's focus on like who we are and what we're good at. And who we are and what we're good at is give me the CA and get us some whitelists, because like I say, like, bro, my job is to take the community to the next watering hole, like, you know, and we'll drink from that watering hole, but we're going to have to go to another watering hole. We know how this space works. At some point, this watering hole will be dry. So let us find together the next one. And until it's not that, then I feel like that's part of who we are. And like, we like our IP, but like, we're not the next Disney, bro. We're not.
Yeah.
Right.
And that kind of leads me on to my next question, right? And Wall Street Kongs, WSK, I've come to know it since obviously owning a dumpster. I don't own a Kong. And I've come into this channel and there's so much going on in there. It's just like, do you want to give us a kind of background on when this actually started, just that channel alone? Yeah. Was it originally always there, Henry, or did it come down the line? How did it form? And, you know, talk to us about it. I've got some numbers up on the screen, but I'm sure there's kind of, these figures need to be updated. But yeah, do you want to kind of give us the lowdown on Wall Street Kongs?
Yeah. And if somebody in Wall Street Kongs is listening, tell me in Discord what the oldest message is in there. From my memory, I feel like Wall Street Kongs started April 17th of 21, when the gens went to the new contract and babies were bred. I think it was April of 21 when this started. We used to hang out in Monkey Business, which is sort of like the landing channel. There was only a couple hundred of us in Discord, and that was where we talked. Wall Street Kongs became the place in Web3 to be. That's why babies ran to 17 ETH. Like that was the place. Kongs moved markets. The alpha was in the Kongs Discord. We had slow mode on all the time. We had moderators specifically for that channel. And while it has changed because there's less people in the space, so obviously there's going to be less people in Discords, but Wall Street Kongs has maintained it's like the fire has kept burning since April of 2021, and that's where the alpha gets shared. That's where guys are just passing any and everything. If it matters, it's in there. And then, bro, there's all kinds of other channels in there. There's wallet trackers. There's the shitcoin channel. There's all kinds of like resources in there that guys can use, but like the place to be is Wall Street Kongs.
Yeah, no doubt.
Have you had a chance to check it out, Teddy? I know you've had a busy couple of weeks, but have you had a chance to kind of just jump in there and just see what the vibe is and what's going on in there?
Yeah. I started in Monkey Business because I had whitelists that didn't get me shit because first come first serve. There was like 200 left for the dumpsters, so I started out there, but then I picked some up on bids and then got into Wall Street Kongs, and yeah, it's moving, bro. Are you kidding me? Like both of them.
Like a bazaar up in there, right?
Well. I get the Death Star.
You got the Death Star pings
all the time, and I'm like, oh, well, what happened? Oh, okay. Oh, what happened? Okay.
And that's yeah. Go for it, Henry.
No, I was just gonna say, like, Wall Street Kongs can be neurotic. That's like the dudes that are out there grinding. Just like, they're out there grinding, bro. They're looking for, and the cool thing is, like, I've watched these guys eat across every market. Every market, bro. You can hear guys bitching on the timeline about like how dead it is out there, and yet somehow in Wall Street Kongs, guys are still finding the wins. They may be fewer and further between, but they are on it, bro. They're on it. So it's just a great place to be plugged into any and everything going on.
Kind of reminds me of the Gecko Garage, where they're eating across all ecosystems as well, man. You guys may be on a more grander scale, but the Garage is eating as well. Like, they don't just stick to ETH, they stick to wherever the play is. So
That's it, bro.
Yeah,
That's
I think
Yeah.
we kind of highlighted the garage to Henry last time, and
Mhm.
I know a few of the Kongs have actually gone over to the garage and
Yep.
kind of checked it out. But yeah, no, definitely. I think my experience of the Wall Street Kongs channel when I came in, it was just like a bazaar, right? There was so many things being discussed and so many kind of projects being talked about, shield the coins and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, this is it's buzzing. You actually need to take out time properly and concentrate on some of these conversations because there's information there to be acted upon. So it's definitely worth having a look at. And just remind people, Henry, that they don't need to just need to own a dumpster, right, to get access to the Wall
Yeah.
Street.
So
Yeah,
here's how Wall Street Kongs works.
Mhm.
yeah,
You get access if you have a Evolution Kong, which is a migrated baby, or Genesis Kong. Okay, that's
right,
how you get, like, let's say, lifetime access as long as you hold it.
right, okay,
We give right now access to the dumpster NFT so people can go in there and kind of be a part of it. And like that was the decision we made because we're not trying to devalue babies and gens.
Right.
But like we had this Wall Street Kongs pass that people could buy to be able to get temporary access to Wall Street Kongs. And nowadays I'm like, no, don't buy it. I'll give you the role so you can come in and check out what we got going in there. And dude, I am a firm believer that people will buy an asset that they have a connection to if they have the money to be able to do it and if it means something to them. So, if I had it my way, Wall Street Kongs would be open to everybody because I like the idea, like, come in, give the rewards. If there's airdrops, if there's the whitelist, give those to the people in the community. The Evos and the gens, but like let people how else does anybody know? How else do you know? Like, I know that there are places like Minted and Pastel Alpha where like you pay and like you can do that on a monthly basis, and then you can not renew if you don't want to. But like, a baby Kong and Evolution is still like $250-$300. For a lot of people, it's a lot of money to spend to hope that you like something. So I like letting people in to just see, if they like it. And if people are contributing, like if I give somebody a Wall Street Kongs pass and if they're contributing, I keep giving them the role. And I've seen it where somebody that I've given that role to for months finally got enough of a win where they could comfortably buy an Evolution Kong. And they did it because they're like, man, this place means something to me. So yeah, to get in there right now, like a dumpster NFT gets you in there. I can't say for how long, but right now I got no reason other than like there was a dude who put a scam link in there the other day. So now we turned off links for dumpsters. But like, yeah, I like that people can come in and check out what's going on.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I was happy to get access to it. So as you said, I don't know for how long, but hey.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. I'm like, so how long? When are you going to kick me out, man? When are you going to kick me out?
I mean, anybody who knows me just knows, like, I like having more people in there. I like having more of a chat in there. So bro, to be honest with you, it's not even a conversation that we've even had to have right now because we are in the midst of trying to get dumpster, really moving and to X out the people who are part of it just seems stupid to me. You know what I mean? Like, I want them to have a place to come to talk about things and strategize and stuff like that. So yeah, there's not even been a conversation of, oh, we're going to shut them off in a week. We haven't had that.
Well, I know we jumped to dumpster, but can you explain Death Star and how it came about with, and what essentially it is?
Yeah, Death Star was the strategy protocol that we put out on ETH as a twist on the normal strategy tokens. So normal strategy tokens like Punkster, the way that they work is there's a 10% tax when you buy and sell the token. That tax is used to buy their project. So in this case with Punkster, that tax is used that when there's enough of that tax accumulated in the contract, it buys a punk and then it automatically relists that punk 20% over floor. And if and when that punk that's listed sells, it uses the ETH from that sale to buy the Punkster token and burn it. That's essentially how the flywheel of a strategy token works, or at least the original ones. Does that make sense so far? Does that
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm following. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So one of the problems with these strategy tokens that were launching is that they were launching at local all-time highs. And, most of these people weren't really thinking out like what happens when the wheel's not spinning? What happens when it's not buying and everyone's just like, oh my God, the treasury is filled with NFTs that are listed way above floor. So if we're waiting for that powder to come in and buy the floor, to buy back the token and burn it, like we could be waiting a while. And that's the truth. Like strategy tokens have been very hard to keep the flywheel going for any like sustained period of time. So we came out with Deathster as this idea of let's have a twist on it. Let's not be supportive of our floor. Let's use the strategy to buy an NFT that's selected by the holders of the token. And let's dump that shit. Let's list that thing under floor price. It started at 20%. Like the idea was that you would buy this and then you would sell it because then you would always have powder. You would always have powder because you're selling this thing instantly. But we didn't want to sell it. We didn't want to take the ARB opportunity because, okay, let's say we were buying a Pudgy Penguin for 10 ETH, right? The protocol buys it for 10 ETH. And the idea was we're going to raffle this at a 20% discount to the holders of Deathster. So somebody could buy that for a 20% discount, 8 ETH, and they either got a Pudgy Penguin for 8 ETH or they can dump it into bids close to 10 ETH and they just made 2 ETH on it. That was the idea behind it. Buy this thing and be able to sell this thing to the holders of the token at a discount. It started at a 20% discount. We ultimately took it to a 30% discount. So the idea of Deathster was cool. The problem is it was such a different kind of idea that some of it you don't know how it works until you watch this thing breathe. You're like, cool, this thing's breathing now. What do you got to tweak? What do you got to make better? And so we were constantly kind of experimenting with how to make the thing easier and how to make it more efficient and how to make it better. The problem is we lost momentum on it, right? Once the thing is out of powder, it is hard to get somebody to want to take a chance on it because you're like, hey, there's raffles that can happen once the protocol has enough powder in it, but it gets powder by people buying and selling this thing. And since there's not been a lot of volume on it, you've got to take that chance to come into it. That's a hard thing to do. You know what I mean? It's a hard thing to be the first person to jump into the pool when it's not really been going for a bit. And so Deathster was and is a super cool experiment, but there are, if you want to say flaws to it, there's flaws to everything out there, right? There's something that can trip up anything out there. And with strategy tokens, the thing that trips it up is volume. If you don't have powder to deploy, it gets boring for people. And that's how we got to Dumpster, because we played with Deathster for a while. We always had the idea that if that thing was successful, we would take it to other chains. But when we decided to take it to, the first chain that we wanted to do something different on, which was Solana, where it needs to be different. We went through and we found what we thought were the holes in Deathster, and we tried to plug those holes with Dumpster. And that was, Deathster was the foundation of what Dumpster is.
Wow. That it's amazing how that kind of idea from there has now kind of evolved into Dumpster. And Dumpster's not your first foray into Solana, right? It's not for the Kong. So I know you guys, you are in the trenches. You kind of obviously fuck around with meme coins and whatnot. But Dumpster, when I first kind of heard of Dumpster and I said something's CyberKong's behind Dumpster, I didn't fully understand it at the beginning. I'll be honest with you, right? And it was just about kind of digging into the website and kind of understanding. And then you put out that really nice kind of tweet on which was pinned to your CyberKong Kong's X profile explaining what's going on, and even then, me and Taddy kind of got together and said, "Look, we need to break this down. What's going on here, right?"
It is not a quick read at all, man.
It's
You got to
not.
read that a couple of times for sure.
And, but what I liked about everything, right, is Henry is the website. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a visual person, right? And the website kind of drew everything together. It kind of helped explain everything that was going on, right? I'm a visual person, and
Yes.
the website, I got to give a big shout out to the team who's got behind the website and created this. I appreciate this, as I'm sure many people who have used this website do as well. It's so on brand, clean. It's just inviting. I'd rather look at this than a meteor pool. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Bro, can you do me a favor?
Screener or anything like that.
Can you go on
Sure.
another tab and go to the Deathster site? I want to show you.
Yeah.
It's a great site, but when you can really see how we changed the approach to what we're doing. So the website is Deathster, like death and then STR, Deathster.gg.
Is that a play on like the Death Star from Star Wars?
Yeah, dude. Deathster was the idea that we kind of put out there was that this thing would nuke people's floors. And so there was a ton of attention it got. We say it was like performance art. It got a lot of attention because people didn't know what it would do. In fact, our first target was Moonbirds, and I've got a message from Spencer before it went live, and he said, "Can we talk?" And the funny thing is, I didn't see it, but like people had no idea what it would do, and it just caught people's attention, and they're like, "Oh, Kongs are rage quitting, or Kongs are this, or Kongs are that." But yeah, pull up that site, bro, if you can.
So that was Death Star. So it's Death and then just Star, right?
Not a star,
STR.
STR.GG. Okay, let me bring that up here. Boom, boom. Okay.
Techie, Death Star, ominous kind of vibes.
It looks like the Death Star.
Yeah. Like you go click.
Death Star.
Click on the Kong, like that Death Star follows. These are the projects that get targeted.
Yeah, buddy.
So like, and the thing is, there's a lot of info here, and like it's cool. Don't get me wrong, it's a cool site, and it's Death Star branded. But we're like with Dumpster, you go back to the Dumpster page, and you're like, nah, you need something that's like, it needs to be inviting. It needs to be fun. So we wanted this to be themed. And we decided to go like kind of adult Sesame Street with it, with this kind of like Oscar the Grouch dumpy vibe, and Dumpster. That was like that was the idea. Make it fun, make it funny, and let's just let's try something different than the route that Deathster was going.
It's like the other side of the coin, though. Deathster is all serious and like like and evil looking, you know what I mean? And this one's all fun and like, yo, let's have a fucking party. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's inviting. It's inviting, right? And I think, as I said, GG to the whole kind of team behind this side, because they absolutely nailed it. And it's not just this page, right? You go in, you got that alleyway, and you're looking at the different dumpsters that are available. It's just, it's just
fun,
hits, man.
It's fun.
Yeah, that's the word. It's fun.
I told you on Floor Watch, man, when I go into a Discord or I go into a project, I don't want to feel like I went into the doctor's office or a dentist office, man. I want that shit to be fun, because IRL is where it's all boring and whatnot. Well, I'm doing this to have fun, and this is as fun as it gets, man.
Amen to that, bro. Yeah, that was the idea. Like, it needed to be inviting, it needed to be fun. And Felix, our UI guy, he hit a home run on it. Like, he's awesome at this stuff. I've sat in Figma meetings with web design companies, and they're boring as hell. And he just put this together. Just straight up, he put it together.
So, Henry, I got a question for you, man. So we all know that most DJs are allergic to reading. Like, I love to read. Lucky and I love to read about the ecosystem, about what's going on in crypto as much as we can. Do you think that Dubster is too complicated for most DJs, or are you like, fuck them? Those are not the people we want. We want the guys that do know how to read. We want the guys that can figure shit out.
Yeah, you know what? I think you need both, right? So the thing is, yes, people don't like to read, and to your point, like the article we put out there, it's long, and we know we know 97% of people aren't going to read it. The hope is you get a few people that do, and those are guys that can help explain it to other people, answer questions. And then when those guys understand it a little bit more, then you've got, 6 people that can do it, and then 9, and then 12, and 20. And so, people aren't going to read, but for the ones that do, they are some of your best advocates. And the problem is, for something that is this complicated, because it's kind of like DeFi, it isn't, I don't want to say it's not easy. There is no just easy way to explain it or to just do a quick TLDR. Like you could do a TLDR, but then there's always going to be the follow-ups, the follow-up questions. Like, wait, what do you do? Yeah. What do you mean? How do you do that? You got to fill up your bag. You got to, okay, then what? You got to say, so all of those follow-up questions, it's like the idea behind putting this stuff out there is there's at least some place you can point it towards and be like, hey, read this, or like, yep, it's in the article, or somebody can point them to the how-to guide. But yeah, bro, it is at face value to people who are used to maybe just aping into a shitcoin. Yeah, dude, it's more complicated than that. But if you've done any kind of DeFi, if you've been doing any, LPing, or you did any DeFi farming or anything like that, like they all have steps that you have to take. Right. So
there's a learning curve for all of that shit. You better sit down and learn that shit, or you're not going to make the bag. I mean, be perfectly honest.
Or you don't. Like, it's not for everybody, right? There's some people who are just like, no, I'm not looking to try to play something like that. But there are people who do want to do that. And they, listen, with Dumpster specifically, there are people that see it, they partake in it. And when they partake in it, they understand what the potential is of it. And it makes them really fucking bullish, because they're like, whoa, dude, like, yes, it might seem a little crazy at first, but actually it's not once you do it. And then once you do it and you understand it a little bit, then you realize at a 920K market cap, it doesn't make any sense. You're just like, this thing doesn't make, like if you have shit coins with nothing behind it running to 20, 30, 100, 200 mil, you look at a DeFi protocol and you're like, okay, 922K market cap. That thing looks like it's got some room to move.
Well, for me, I equate it to, this is how I make sense of it for myself. I believe it to be a gamified version of a DLMM for me.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, because you're putting in Dumpster, but then you're also getting Soul and Dumpster attributed to it. So, and then just like gamified LPing as well, where it's just fucking fun, man. You know what I mean? And not only that, you can pick and choose where you put it as well, with how the dumpster's going, and then filling up one that's not filled up, and then you come back and the thing's filled up with 50 million. You're like, damn, that was quick. So no, I think you made it visual for something where you go to Meteora and it's not really visual. It's all numbers and whatnot for the most part. But here you're like, okay, I get it.
I mean, bro, when you think that this thing, what's the price of Soul right now? 75, 77?
77, yeah.
Okay. There is almost $133,000 worth of Soul to deploy in this protocol right now at a 920K market cap. Like at a 920K market cap, with only having done 1,070,000 in volume, there's 133K in Soul to deploy, not counting the dump that there is to deploy. It's like, if you understand it and you understand like, oh, those Soul rewards are going to keep getting distributed, and the more buys and the more sells and the more whatever happens with it, the more powder there is to deploy, then you start to think like, oh yeah, at a sub 1 mil market cap, this is actually, this is not a bad buy. I'm going to buy some. I'm going to get a bag or two. I'm going to stake it. And then all I got to do is sit back and claim my rewards. I don't want to say it's a no-brainer, because there is a little bit of thought that has to go into it. But
it kind of is a no-brainer, man, because it's like, it's a meme coin with utility, which is what every meme coin wish it had. Because at the end of the day, it's like someone's going to dump on you. But when you have a utility with a token, it's like, well, what the fuck? What are we doing here?
That's it. I mean, yeah, that's it. It's meme.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Like,
yep. And I think we've just realized, like, there's work we have to put into it. And bro, that work is like what we're doing here right now, getting out, explaining it, getting people, when I say to understand it, just, You got to get people to understand what it is and what the potential is, because there's not a lot like it out there. There may not be anything like it out there. It's a very unique protocol. Certainly on Solana, it's a very unique gamified protocol. And we're still waiting to release the Dumpster Fire, which right now has like 13.5 million dump in it. That's essentially like a slot machine where people can play to win rewards to get dump. There's jackpots, there's multipliers, there's staking boosts. So like there's dude, there's still more we can do with this thing. We just got to get some of these initial things out before we can start doing anything more with it.
So there's no ETA on that right now?
I am, when I say up the devs' asses, I'm up the devs' asses, and I just asked earlier what day. And the answer was,
go fuck
I
yourself.
don't want to commit on a specific day until we finish testing.
Okay.
And so like I wish I had a better answer than that, but at least it's an honest answer.
Well, no, I mean, you touched upon that, there's no day, but can you just give our listeners, our viewers, like, I don't know, a kind of TLDR of what Dumpster Fire will be?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Dumpster Fire is that slot machine. So essentially, when the
like, how would that work? I take my dump, and then what do I do with my dump to get in there?
Yeah, you basically you take your dump and then you wager it. You basically put it in like a slot machine. There's multipliers. You put in 100 dump, you put in 1,000 dump, and you can 2x, you can 6x, you can hit. There's like 4 different jackpots you can hit. So the purpose of it is like right now, because we're at a lower volume, the protocol is doing a raffle for the dumpsters every 30 minutes to deploy Sol, right? That's what it's doing right now every 30 minutes. That can be every hour. That could be every 10 minutes, depending on what the volume is. You can go to the webs to our X and see. You don't need to do it now, but somebody can go to our X and find what the schedule is for that. So in between those times when people are like, let's say you went to the site now and you're like, okay, there's a raffle in 5 minutes. Let's say it was in 15 minutes. And you're like, man, I just kind of want to do something. You will be able to go to that Dumpster Fire tab where it says play, and you'll be able to just go play Dumpster Fire and click buttons and see if you get more dump out of it than you put in. But that dump is always getting fed by the protocol, because 25% of what it gets in when it sells its bag of Sol to the dumpsters, 25% of what it gets in buys dump and puts it in the Dumpster Fire. So it's like another way to distribute tokens to people who want to play the game. That's essentially what it is.
Right. Maximum DJing.
It's sort of that. It's like when there's nothing to do and you don't want to just stare at the chart, you can go play Dumpster Fire. And dude, there's all kinds of other fun ideas that would be cool to do that my devs would absolutely hate me saying, but like, adding NFTs into there and doing things like that. I think that would be really cool shit to do. I'm making no promises. I'm just saying, like, when you have a successful protocol, then of course you're always going to be looking for ways to make it better and ways to improve it.
Henry, that 10% tax will always be there?
Always. Yep. Because it is what feeds. It's what feeds it all. And dude, like I've seen people say like, I don't want to get in because of the tax. And like, yeah, I get it. If you don't want to get taxed on it, like that's totally fine. There's been tons of tokens, strategy tokens, Safe Moon, all kinds of tokens that have had taxes on buys and sells. So it's,
I understand the tax. I was just wondering, like, it will never go up to like 15, or like at some point it will just be 10 and won't go down to 5 at some point. It will always be 10 right now.
Yeah, I had a guy the other day DM me and say, like, dude, you should really try to create buy pressure by telling everyone the tax is going up. I'm like, that will not create buy pressure, by the way. Right. That will literally piss everybody off, and that will create sell pressure. Whether we could mess with the tax at a lower rate, I'm sure anything can be done, but I don't know that there's a fair way to do that when people paid their way in. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
I feel like that's one of those untouchable things.
Well, any chance on making the token deflationary with a burn mechanism included in there, or is that too far off the cuff? Like, no, let's just do what we're doing right now, and then maybe in the future, or nah, that shit ain't happening at all.
Well, here's the thing. We specifically didn't include a burn in here because if you look at the numbers of Deathster, that has burned over 40% of the supply.
Got it.
And I think one of the things that we found is that burn is something fun to talk about, but it actually, like, man, you would have to burn so much to have any sort of supply crunch. And with Dester, literally it's burned more than I'm pretty sure any other strategy token out there. And it kind of did nothing for it. So there is not a plan to burn it, but that doesn't mean that if we saw something that made sense to do that we couldn't like burning. I think is kind of easy,
Right.
Hey, well, after this thing's been going and we're getting good traction, we're getting this feedback or that feedback, let's consider doing a burn. I guess if the right reason came along, it's like anything can be on the table if it makes sense. I think from our perspective, we always want to make sure that we're not like stuck in the mud of like, can't do that. No, this is it. Just fucking live with it. It's like, if there's something that makes sense, I mean, we'd be stupid to not take feedback. Some things can be done. Some things are harder to do. Some things are easy to do. But I think if this thing rockets, and there are ideas that make sense, like we'd be foolish to not consider them.
Right. I mean, I understand the burn too, especially since you guys have already given it a go with Dester. It's like, for me, sometimes burns are like sweep contests. Yeah, it arbitrarily moves the floor for a bit, but then eventually everyone just, undercuts and sells and shit. So it's like temporary hype.
Yeah,
so
agree with that. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Henry, I know we kind of gone over the time that I kind of suggested it would take. So
sorry, man. We like to pick people's brains.
No, bro, we're having fun. Yeah, we're having fun. I get it.
Yeah, I thought I'll just quickly check in with you. Are you okay for another 5 minutes? We wrap everything up because I know your phone's ringing and you've probably got people chasing after you. So I'm just going to kind of move it on to. We usually do a section called the rapid fire, but I think that we don't have enough time for that, Teddy. But what I do kind of think we should pick Henry's brains about is how has he found being now, the project lead of a Solana NFT project?
That was my next question, bro. That's my brother from a different mother. Let's fucking go.
Oh, dude, and I'm not just saying it to say it. I have genuinely enjoyed the Solana community. Really, bro. I think they have been.
You can be honest, Henry. Go on.
Yeah, no, dude. They're the closest thing to ETH degens as I can ever remember. Like, they are helpful, passionate. It's honestly, it's been amazing coming to Solana and having support from guys like you, guys like NFT Cat. There's others out there. A guy named Bill in our Discord who's been just grinding out there and connecting us. Like, it's been an awesome ecosystem to really, dude, you know what I realized? Like, I used to just really think of Solana as the meme coin, shit coin chain. You know what I mean? And of course, like, there's NFTs. I've realized how deep it actually is and how close it is, to ETH. We talked about this last week together. Like, ETH can sometimes seem like a little bit elitist,
Mm-hmm.
and the reality is these soul guys they're the same. They're literally the same. Like, I don't care what chain you're on. If you're a badass motherfucker, like, I like that, I did have some guys or a guy come into Discord last week and say I was fudding D-Gods, and then he left the Discord. He's like, I'm coming in.
I was fudding D-Gods. It was me, not Henry.
Bro, I was like, all I said about D-Gods is like, there's, for a lot of people who aren't in D-Gods, it is hard to wipe that association with Frank. And that's just facts, It's nothing to get like, and specifically, I'm like, I feel bad for D-Gods holders who have to have that stigma with it. It's no hate on D-God's. My buddy at the gym's a D-God. He's said nothing but good things about the community, but it was surprising. That's been, and bro, that's not even a negative experience. That's just somebody who's like, I heard you were fudding D-Gods. And I'm like, bro, I'm not fucking. I said, go listen to it. If you are wondering if I fudded it, like, go listen to it and then form your own opinion on it. But yeah, long story short, Solana's been awesome, bro.
So okay, I'm gonna put your feet to the fire. Favorite thing about Solana and least favorite thing about Solana since you joined?
Oh, well, favorite thing's been the people. And bro, operating on a chain with lightning quick transactions is also kind of fucking nice, bro. Like doing NFT kind of stuff on a chain that operates that quickly is beautiful. Least favorite thing, dude, the thing is, I don't really have like a super negative thing about it right now. I guess the least favorite thing is that I'm not exactly sure how to penetrate to some of the people that really like to get into this kind of stuff. And because we're not native to Solana, it's probably a little bit harder. But like, no, dude, I don't have something where I'm like, damn, if only we had gone here instead of Solana because of X. Everything's been pretty good over here, bro.
Let's fucking go.
No, I'm serious too. Like I say it not when I'm not on a public kind of thing like this. I'm saying the same thing. I'm impressed as hell.
Henry, quick question. So if you could go back in time, what specifically would you do differently from since you joined being a mod to today? Is there anything you would change, anything you wish you could go back and switch and do differently? Or are you just like, nah, man, everything happens for a reason. I'm good. I'm Gucci.
Well, what you just said is probably how I justify it, right? Like you don't get to where you are without some trial and error and going through the fire a bit. And so like to some degree, it's like, the present dictates the future to some degree. Like what you're doing in the moment is of course going to have an effect on where you're at. Things that we probably regret, bro, laundry list of things. Like you cannot lead a project in Web3. Like you can't lead a project in Web3 without fucking up. And it's kind of crazy to me how people think that like even Prometheans, like that guy I was talking about, who's like, you guys said you're going to do this and this. And it's like, bro, it failed. Right? Like a baseball player hitting 500 would be incredible. You'd be like, that dude is Hall of Famer if he's batting 500, right? A football player, soccer player who scores a goal a game, you'd be like, wow, bro, incredible. You can't run a project and not fuck something up. You can't. So it's like some of it is there's no blueprint. And that like the only way you're going to figure stuff out is by throwing it out there. So like, yeah, there's times where like, I regret saying that we're going to be doing certain things with our game, that we didn't do. Dude, to be honest with you, to sum it up, I regret anything that we said we were going to do that we didn't do. Anything we said we were going to do that we didn't do, I regret that. Anything that we did that somebody just lost money on, I genuinely don't like that anybody would lose money on anything. But in the end, when you do stuff like, Prometheans and you airdrop something for free and somebody gets wrecked and you still get a shitty name for it, you're just like, well, okay, I guess I just realized you can't win them all. You're not going to make everybody happy. And our goal in Kongs is to kind of keep trying to bring fun experiences and keep trying to experiment. One of these things, and I think it's dumpster, one of these things is going to send Kongs back to where we were before. I don't mean floor price. I mean in mind share, in visibility, where people are like, bro, I mean, maybe I'm crazy, but like we need a project like Kongs to be at the top. I don't mean floor price, right? That comes, right? If you got the right thing, that comes. But like, you want to have degenerate leaders in this space. You want to have people that are like, yeah, bro, that's who we are. If everybody looks at the IP plays and that's all this space is the next TCG or the next animated series. And by the way, like I love Cab. I love what they're doing over there. That's for them, but that's not everything about the space. Right. There is a side of the space that just wants to degen and have fun. And I want Kongs to be the fun house for that. I want us to be the place where people are like, yeah, Kongs, when they do shit, they do it right. And to get there, you need you need support all the way around. And you know, the nice thing is we're getting it. We're getting it. Tons of work to still do, though.
Well, you know, the thing, you got to take an L to get a W sometimes, and you guys are the living, breathing embodiment of that, because comfort is the death of creativity, and you guys are not scared to try some new shit, brother. So I'm fucking here for it, man.
Well, I appreciate that. And if people could feel what it was like to go through the SEC shit and still try to deliver for your community and come out the other side and not be like, where, we're done. We don't want to deal with this shit again. To like come out and be like, fuck it, let's get back to work. I think that's something, I don't want to say it's missing. I think it's something that like is lost on people because they don't know what that experience is like. But we're a team that people can trust. We have delivered countless times, and I think you know, we show up, we're present, we're here, and we're going to keep tinkering around and fucking around, and you know, the goal right now is to get this thing out there and really get visibility on it and show people like, dude, there is cool shit other than mint, hope, and pray. There's actual shit you can take part in that works, that's fun. And so that's the mission.
No doubt. Right, Henry, I am going to let you go, sir. I know you've got a busy day ahead. I just want to thank you. Me and Taddy both want to thank you actually for taking the time out and kicking it back with us. And yeah, just talking about your personal life and then your journey into Web3. It's been amazing having you on, brother. As Taddy mentioned before, you're always welcome back on to Floor Watch. It's always good
another
to
hour and a half to try and pick his brain, man. Hell yeah. I get it.
Chop it up on Floor Watch another time.
You guys are fucking awesome. Not just saying it, like you guys are awesome. I'm really happy to have met you guys and for you guys to be kind enough to give us the platform to talk to people. Literally, I'm not just saying it, bro. Like you guys are you're real ones, and it's awesome to meet people in the space that I think are just like us. So yeah, genuinely appreciate it.
Feeling is mutual, man, and thank you for that.
Yeah. Have a great rest of your guys' day. Thank you again, and I look forward to chilling with you guys and taking more of a tour of the Soul ecosystem.
LFG, brother. Appreciate
you,
man.
Yeah, see you, boys.
Henry, take care.
Take care. You as well, guys. See you.
Take care. Taddy, final thoughts from you, brother. It's been a great show. And you know, you're always learning something new about people, right? And I think a lot of our viewers today have taken stuff away from Henry that they probably didn't know before.
I mean, final thoughts for me, man. Just, you know, we had him on Floor Watch, and I learned a lot about him on Floor Watch when he wasn't even talking about Dumpster, and he was just being a DJ, and he was just hanging out with us and just keeping it real and being a dude, you know what I mean? Someone you could drink a beer with. So I learned a lot then. But, you know, picking his brain and whatnot and seeing what they've been through and how they just don't sit comfortably in their chair and how they took on the SEC and how they just don't give a fuck, man. I'm here for that because, you know, bro, you know how I am. It's just like, you know, I get that vibe. But I could pick his brain for another hour and a half. I'm sad he had to go, but I understand it. And, you know, I think there is a future in Dumpster and the Dumpster token as well. And you know, I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. So
no doubt, definitely. And hopefully we can get him back up on Floor Watch. I'd like to also get send out an open invitation to some Kongs if they'd like to come up on Floor Watch, and they don't need to be kind of deep in trenches in Solana NFTs, but if they'd like to just come up and hang out and kind of see what the plays are on Solana, always welcome up. That's an open invitation to you guys. Floor Watch happens on Thursday and Friday. It's a way more relaxed stream than this. This was kind of like I would like to say formal, but it's not really formal. We like to get down and find out a lot of information about our guest on here. But Floor Watch is a whole different show. But yeah, it's an open invitation if any Kongs wants to jump up and be a co-host. Maybe this Thursday or Friday, feel free to kind of reach out to me or Taddy and we can make that happen. But Taddy, we've been going on for nearly 2 hours. Henry is gone. No one's going to stay here and listen to us, brother.
Bro, they shouldn't either.
You're
still here listening to us, man. There's something wrong with you. No, but we appreciate you guys. We appreciate everyone that rocked up, man. The CyberKongs family as well, pulling up. Henry pulling up. Our, you know, dedicated viewers pulling up. Just thank you all, man. Have a great Monday. Stay blessed. Stay winning. Don't click that bullshit, man. And our NFT's back. It's starting to feel like it. But knock on wood. That's pretty much all I got, Luck. I mean, I could ramble on forever, but like I said, our guest is gone, so we should dip and rug this bitch.
I feel you, brother. I feel you. Yes, we're back again. Anyway, on Thursday, 5 p.m. EST, Taddy will be hosting the Floor Watch for Thursday.
Sir.
I'll be doing Friday's one. But thank you to all that kind of jumped on and spent the last 2 hours watching us and Henry talk. But until next stream, thank you so much, guys. Take care, Taddy. Thank you as well, sir. It's been a great one.
And
I'll
me,
see
bro.
you as well on the backside.
Hell yeah, man. Let's fucking go. Have a great one, fellas. Peace.
Take care. Take care.
On the block, we go, 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 go. On the block, let it flow, go, 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 Spaces open, might go live. Different miles from Web to Drive. Builders here, they pull a real. Talking moves and how they feel. No scripts, just open flow. Ideas moving row by row. Every week a new face shown. Building things to stand alone. On the block, we go, 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 go. On the block, let it flow, 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 flow. On the block, feel the sound. On the block right now. Spaces open, let it start. Different builders play their part. No filter, just raw talk. Ideas that actually walk. From early grinding new way. Every guest got things to say. No script, no safety net. Just truth, you don't forget.